that I will hold in order to do business with you. They break open your house one thing, they rape your mother, they rape your father, they rape your brother, they rape your sister, they rape your auntie, they rape your auntie, they rob you of all your jewels, they take your car if you have a license firearm, they take your firearm and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well, hear this now. Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go. They come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on side. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you go to a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Dance! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago, coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody hell month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. It's a lovely day in Trinidad and Tobago, as we say, and it looks like it's going to be a rainy, lovely night also. You know, they say when rain falling, it's good night for couples, you know. When you're single now, it'll be a bad night, you know. You have a pillow to hug up, you have a teddy bear to hug up, you have an extra sheet to hug up. But then say what? Life is not perfect for everybody. Nevertheless, so as we start up our program tonight, viewers, Deputy UNC political leader Dr. Rudal Munilal have stated that Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley calls for an apology from opposition leader Kamala Prasad Bisesa is nothing but a distraction. The PM broke his silence on the incident involving Mr. Stuart Young, the Energy and Energies Industry Minister, who was almost reprimanded for his derogatory comments by the House Speaker. He was instructed to apologize, and the Deputy House Speaker accepted it, allowing him to escape the privilege committee which the opposition had called for. Listen to this.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I take full responsibility for my actions and utterances, and would like to record my humblest apology to the House, the members of the House, and to the population whom I represent for my indiscretion and the ensuing disturbance that my words have caused. I assure you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, and those that I am privileged to represent, that it is never my intention to bring odium to this august House and the Parliament, which I will always do my best to protect. In the circumstances, I withdraw the unparliamentary language, and I ask that my unreserved apology for the said utterances be recorded, and I conclude by reaffirming my commitment to the Parliament and the people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, Stuart Young apologized to the House. The house has 4 walls with living individuals inside the walls. Now, did Stuart Young apologize to the individual who those comments were sent to? Or were made of? Or is it that Stuart Young is too big to apologize to the person on the opposite side when he made those comments? So I just want to remind Stuart Young something. When you're making comments like those, your mother is a woman, your sister is a woman, your wife is a woman. You see, some people doesn't understand, and this is what I always say, power does get to the head. And when power gets to your head, you feel you could do anything and get away. No, you cannot do anything and get away. You can't. Stuart Young apologized to the House. Were those comments directed to the House or directed to individuals? And this is what I want you to pay attention to. Those comments, were it designed for the House or was it designed for an individual? Oh, Stuart Young apologized. That is okay. The Speaker would say that. But you think Stuart Young could make a comment like that to the House Speaker? Definitely no. That's a no-no right there. You're banned from the House. You're banned from the House. But nevertheless, he's too big to apologize. He apologized to the House Speaker. And the Speaker And know what to say. And know what to say. And know how to carry about a judgment. Say, well, you know what? We go accept it. That's all he could do. That's all they could do. But to correct them, no, they can't correct them. They can't correct them. You go to me a big hardback man like that going in the house and making statement like that, a big hardback man like that, failing to realize the mother is a woman, failing to realize your sister is a woman, failing to realize your wife is a woman, failing to realize your daughter is a female, and that the kind of comments you making, you should be ashamed. You should be ashamed. What that Bridget and I said, George said, well, you know what, we go accept your apology. And they're done with that. They're done with that. It's sad, yes? It's sad. So because of that now, Dr. Rowley spark off on the other side. Rowley said, while that matter has been dealt with, he was hopeful for an apology for allegations of rape, pedophile, and enormous crime of sexual abuse in children that was made against him and his father by the opposition when it held that seat of government in March 2015. So you see how far Dr. Rowley going back now, just to cause a bacchanal? Quite back in 2015. So because of Stuart Young's foolish comment for a big representative of Trinidad and Tobago in a house, this senior, who is Dr. Rowley, going back 15 years. What did I say? Do so I like so? It's stinking sad. This is how big men operating like little 5-year-old children. And I am ashamed to say it. Big representative of Trinidad and Tobago, that is how they get on. So we have a set of little clowns now in the House of Parliament. No example is being set for upcoming kids or individual who wants to join Parliament. A bunch of clowns, that is what we have leading the country. A bunch of clowns who don't give a damn about how they represent the country and how they carry about themselves as what? As ministers. You think in another country, you think a minister could be getting on like that? You think they could be getting on like China? You think these ministers we have here could go in China and get on like that? No then. Nah. They'll deal with you one time. But in Trinidad here, the police officers fail to investigate ministers. Why? Because they are ministers and we is police. But ain't your body supposed to be independent? So why are you afraid to investigate him? See? Who joined the line? It's sad, yes? Call a good night.
Mr. Saieed,
Go right ahead, you're live, my dear.
I would like to find out. I ain't called your program a very long time.
I realize.
Tonight I would like to get through. Why Donna Cox do not put the 41 MP when they done work as a grant and all? Why they put in only common people to get a grant? Why they don't make the 41 of them give them a grant and give them $5,000 a month and not a cent else again? Okay?
I understand what you're saying.
I think that they will do that.
Thank you, my dear. Moving along, viewers. President of the Police Service Social and Welfare Association, ASP, Gideon Dixon, have stated that while the police has to find ways to control its uniform being accessed by members of the public, the recall for police operational wear was not the best decision for the police. He said, instead of being Trinidad and Tobago, couldn't the Commissioner of Police find an alternative way into dealing with this? He said, instead of being reactionary, the organization needs to be strategic in what it does when it comes to police uniform. At a weekly police bearing, Deputy Commissioner of Police Junior Benjamin read from an advisory from Commissioner Earl Hayward Christopher instructing officers to return their tactical uniform to their respective division commander by October 23rd. Listen to this.
The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has taken a stance because we recognize that the lives of our citizens are at stake. And the Commissioner has issued this advisory to inform that from tomorrow, all officers in the division and branches are to be in patrol order number 3. That is basically the gray and blue. Additionally, divisional commanders are to ensure that all tactical items of kit must be returned to the police quartermaster stores by Wednesday, the 23rd of October 2024. Failure to comply will result in the appropriate disciplinary actions being taken. This measure is implemented to maintain the integrity of our uniform service and to ensure public safety and security.
Now, viewers, members of the Ghana Emergency Branch, Interagency Task Force, National Operation Task Force, and the Multi-Operation Police Section were exempted from the advisory. You know, it's sad, you know. It's sad. These units are exempted, but what wear do these units have? Is it the same one that is on the streets? So while these orders were being given out, Benjamin also admitted that there would be cause by the advisory, but said he would work with the division commanders and task force members to mitigate some of those issues. Listen to this.
Remember, it's an operational decision taken by the commissioner. It's a decision taken to arrest a certain concern of the public, and what you are seeing is a quick response by the police and a more decisive response. And that is what we are about. That is what we are about. I would really want the public to feel that a difference is being made in the Ministry of National Security and the police service as it relates to tackling crime. We're not waiting, until things get in the way with respect to that issue. It has been arrested very quickly. I have frequent communications with the Commissioner of Police, but I'm not at liberty to tell you what has been discussed. But I can tell you that there's a pointed discussion on arresting what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. A pointed discussion.
Now, viewers, speaking about that matter, police gears over the weekend has been found in Guayari, and we understood that these gears that belong to an individual is also on sick leave for almost a year now. Almost 1 year now, that individual on sick leave. So imagine that you on sick leave and somebody else wearing your full gear, gun, holster, badge, ID. Imagine that. Imagine that you on sick leave and somebody else bearing your full gear. Your full gear, somebody else bearing it. Huh? Are you making joke? So now, individual, this person who they said that the gear belonged to, right? Now, you will have to tell Trinidad and Tobago how this other person have all Your gaze. Paula, good night.
Saeed, good night. Saeed, this is a big joke. You see, all this simidimi is a big joke. That is what Stephen Williams getting $800
an
hour
yes.
to advise Urla to do to change them uniform.
Mm-hmm.
They have all them uniform outside already. They have even what they're going to let them go back in from 1955. Then they let them. They have that outside already. So what's the big thing? Heinz don't care. Heinz is a dead horse. They bring our next dead horse to pay he a big salary to say the same thing Heinz saying. It's a big joke up in there, everybody having fun, right? And being disrespectful to senior citizens in the parliament. Because I wonder if Stuart Young had made that statement against the Speaker of the House, if she would have sat on it and passed it off like how she did.
Thank
even
you.
with COVID. You understand? These people need to be put in the blinking place because Mrs. Prasad Bissessa is a senior citizen and she's a senior person in Parliament and in government.
Correct.
She'd been there before Stuart Young dreamed to come in to PNM and form the fool just like the rest of them. Right? Or they must know to have respect. Don't study mic on, mic off. These kind of talk should not be in the parliament. Talk things to benefit the country. We just going downhill.
Correct.
Sorry, we going astray. Not we ain't going, sorry, pardon.
We
going astray.
Yes.
The young fellas have nobody to look up to. From Rowley go down. Have nobody to look up to. These poor young people stranded out here inside. Looking for things to do, looking for somebody to say, yes, I could be like him. There's no hope for the young people, and what we will get crime. Hearing nonsense you talking in Parliament and talking about you if your mic was on.
Correct.
Disrespectful. He should be penalized for that and thrown out of Parliament. But no, Rowley ain't going to do that because Rowley does do the same thing. Same thing Rowley does. I hear him yell at a female minister while he had a town meeting or whatever one of them town meeting he does have. He yell up at her. And what they do, they put their tail between their legs and they say they're resigning because they like it so too. He wants to tell people about choose the men wisely. He better check himself because the thumb is pointing back at him. Thank you, Sai.
Thank you, Mary. We are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we'll have some discussions after this.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid up front. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saeed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
So Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back to Real Talk. So just a reminder, viewers, Real Talk is offering you 4% on fixed deposit. Remember that we are the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is doing that presently. Remember that you're going to get cash or you're going to get check on your interest payment from a fixed deposit when you set it up at Real Talk Credit Union. Remember, we are giving you upfront payment. You don't have to wait 5 and 10 years. Upfront payment you're getting once your check is cleared. So, as we start our program tonight, viewers, just a little something over the weekend. Something that came to my attention. A businessman firearm disappeared from a police station in Trinidad and Tobago. We are still getting information from that, viewers, but I want to let you understand something. There has been a dispute between a male and a female. The firearm was seized. It was lodged in the station. And after the matter was settled, the individual went back to claim back for his firearm, only to realize that the firearm was missing from the station. So who do you think now, viewers, is going to be held accountable for this firearm? Who in the station should be held accountable? Ask yourself that. Now, this is a serious investigation that is launched, and we're going to keep you updated. With that being said, after promising to supply the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service with 2,000 vehicles, new vehicles, over the next 3 years, in his budget speech, Finance Minister Clongenbert has urged public bodies, first, to seek to repair the old vehicle before asking him for funding for a fresh purchase. MP for the Couva North, Ravi Ratiram, asked about the non-provision of any new vehicle, as nothing was estimated in last year, despite an initial estimate allocation of 575,000 under recurrent expenditure. Minister of Agriculture Kazim Hussein then blamed the non-spend on issues arising under the procurement process, but promised to ask Mbud for more funding. This for agriculture also, Listen to this.
In 2024, no vehicles were purchased. but a commitment was given last year for the purchase of a vehicle for this unit, this division. And in 2025, there isn't any allocation. So is it that the ministry has aborted that plan?
Right. No. Due to the procurement process, that held back but it will be done.
Thank you. I understand that the procurement process would have been a little delayed in 2024. However, Minister, the commitment that was given to this unit that we thought would have happened in 2024, we anticipated should happen in 2025. Yeah. But there's no funds here being allocated for 2025 under this line item.
Okay, well, remember, I intend to approach the Minister of Finance on this particular item.
Thank you.
Now, viewers, with all that being said, Emmett stated that he had asked all ministries to make their best effort to repair and rehabilitate existing vehicles they now own, rather than buy new ones. Emmett said for many heads of expenditure across various public bodies, the budget made no allocations for new vehicle. Listen to this.
We have asked all ministries to make their best effort to repair and rehabilitate their existing vehicles rather than engage in the purchase of new vehicles. I am certain the Ministry of Agriculture would have some vehicles that they could renovate, rehabilitate, refurbish, and put back on the road, just as we spoke yesterday with respect to the Ministry of Works.
Thank you for your intervention, Honourable Minister of Finance.
And this is why. I'm not finished. And this is why you will see in many different heads of expenditure, many different ministries and so on, you will see that there is no allocation for vehicles in 2025. This is not accidental. This is a policy of the Ministry of Finance where we are asking all ministries and departments to try to rehabilitate and bring back on the road vehicles. Some vehicles may be down for just a small item and they could bring it back for a couple $1,000s. So this is not unique to the Ministry of Agriculture. And I am certain they have vehicles they can bring back on the road.
Citing a graveyard of thousands of old vehicles at the Tamana Intech Park, Emmett insisted that the ministry look within their existing fleet that could and would also apply to Minister Hussein. Listen to this now.
Well, Minister, we just got a commitment from the Minister of Agriculture that the intended purchase that was delayed in 2024 based on procurement legislation, he intends to execute in 2025. And I know the Minister of Agriculture would have been utilizing the scarce resources available to have the vehicles operational. Is it that you are now expressing some level of lack of confidence in ensuring that these vehicles remain operational within the Ministry of Agriculture to have what can be salvaged, what can be repaired and operating? And is it that you are already giving a disapproval for the request to the Minister of Agriculture? Because we just got a commitment that he intends to ask for environment to get that purchase done. So can you explain?
I think I made myself crystal clear. And if you're familiar with the University of Trinidad and Tobago location up in Tamana, by the Tamana Intech Park, when you go towards UTT, just on your left-hand side, you would see what I would call a graveyard with at least 1,000 vehicles in it. And we are insisting that all ministries and departments, rather than buying new vehicles, they look within their existing fleet and they bring them back on the road. So that is clear English, and I think you understand the government's policy position. Even if a department wants to buy a vehicle, we will send them in that direction first. And it's only when they are unable to locate a vehicle that could be easily repaired, we would then consider a virement or a transfer of funds. Okay?
Minister, I'm
so
very
even if this particular minister makes a request for acquisition of a new vehicle, we will ask this particular minister and all ministers to please look within your existing fleet and see whether you can bring vehicles back on the road rather than buying new ones. Okay?
So I want to ask Clongenberg, the $575,000 that was allocated in 23, will you be spending that $575 still? Because they didn't get no new vehicle. They didn't. Ratiram said the vehicle graveyard has been built up over 9 years, and he wished Imbud could have been enlightened over repairing vehicles earlier in his ministerial term. Asked if the Forestry Division had sufficient vehicle, Hussein said that there is a pool of vehicle. Ratiram said forestry officers had told them personally that they face a lack of vehicles, saying the budget gave no allocation to buy vehicle for the Forestry Division in fiscal 2025. He asked Hussein to look into it. Listen to this.
Minister, on the vehicles here, for 2025, we recognize that there isn't any allocation for this line item. Are you satisfied, Minister, that the Forestry Division has sufficient vehicles available to execute their work?
We have a pool of vehicles we usually use. We have a pool of vehicles we usually use to fill positions like that throughout the ministry. So when a vehicle is down, we have a pool of vehicles parked up that we utilize in all the different departments.
You see, I asked this question, Honourable Minister, because we have been consulting various officers who we would try to keep confidential and private. But one of the issues that has been highlighted is the lack of working and functioning vehicles for the officers to effectively patrol and carry out their function. So that's why I'm asking of you, even though there isn't anything here in this line item for 2025, if you can kindly look into the available resources that is made available to these various divisions with respect to vehicles purchase.
Right, sure.
Thank you.
Trinidad and Tobago. So let's just wait and see if the government is going to purchase new vehicles for different ministers or different ministry within the PNM, because I am having an eye out for the 2,000 vehicles that Imbert said he's going to buy for the police service. Now, in purchasing those vehicles, there are 5 vehicles that is going to cost the government over $1.2 million each for high-ranking officers within TTPS. And I want to see if Imbert is going to purchase those vehicles for those high-ranking officers in TTPS. $1.2 to $1.3 million for one of those vehicles. And according to the birds whistling is that they're going to buy 5. So let's just wait and see. Agriculture don't have vehicle, let's see if police getting it. Forestry don't have vehicle, let's see if police getting it. Pretty Larceny Squad don't have vehicles, let's see if police getting it. You want to play stink? It's a nice and simple way to play stink on national television. It's to light up your tail. So you rather roll in comfort and luxury than fixing a problem. So let's see what Clongenberg could do. Viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going straight to the Ministry of Education concerning our $5 billion allocation after this.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid up front. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Tired Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtor Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Real Talk. Remember, we are Real Talk. We are offering you 4% on your interest on a fixed deposit. You're getting the interest up front. Remember that, viewers. So our numbers are on screen, viewers. Pick up your phone, set up an appointment, take a picture of the number on television. Also, those of you who want to open credit union account, you can also go up on the Real Talk Credit Union Facebook page, viewers. Our requirements are there pinned to the top of the page. Remember that. 4% on fixed deposit. Only we at Real Talk is doing this. So, viewers, before we go any further tonight, I want to wish my director, who's also a DJ. His name is Flex. For those of you who know him in Trinidad and Tobago, yes, he works for us. He's one of the directors in our program. We do want to wish him a special belated birthday. His birthday was Saturday gone. You know, he didn't want to flex out the picture on television. You hear what them girls and them running them down now. You know how it is. But nevertheless, we giving them a little privacy. We ain't going to show up the picture. But those of you who know DJ Flex, his birthday was Saturday gone. So the females who know him can still give him a birthday gift. Yeah, still buy it and wrap it up and give it to him. Also, moving along, one announcement. Susan Gomez, you have a picture? Susan Gomez no longer works for Realtor Group of Company, viewers. She is no longer an employee of our company. And we advise you, those of you who know her, that no business be conducted to her or on behalf of Realtor Group, neither the credit union. So this is just to let you all know, viewers. You know, one may say, Said, why you put up Susan picture? All right, this is me. But the kind of things that is taking place in society right now, the things that are taking place in Trinidad and Tobago right now, viewers, in my company, over the years gone by, whoever left our company, we do put their picture up to let the public know that they are no longer with us, because you would have been dealing with individuals in our company for some time now. And we do not do side the road business. We are a financial institution. We have a loan center. We have other business that we conduct. Sometimes when you come in, you might meet this individual and you want to talk to them. You will talk to them into the credit union, probably into wrecking, maybe buying and selling a vehicle. But some department into the realtor group of companies, and when they leave, you will still feel that they are working for our company. So we do that from time to time, viewers. When an individual left, once they have passed their 3 months probation and you become permanent with our company, when you leave, we put the pity up so individual will understand that this person no longer works with Real Talk group of company. That's just to clear the air for those of you. So as we start our program tonight, again we're going back to aid. Education Minister Dr. Nyan Gasby Dolly has refuted claims by Caroni Central MP Arnold Ram that the Presale Secondary School was forced to close its doors due to a rodent infestation. To approve an allocation of $5,542 million, Gasby Dolly insisted that the necessary works were being done at the secondary school to handle the rodent issue and that it had not closed its doors to students. Listen to this.
The school has not been shut down. There's a rodent issue similar to what the member just mentioned and similar to what I just answered that is currently being treated, and I'm sure the member of parliament is aware that the regional corporation has been working on this issue for at least 2 weeks. The school is not shut down. A portion of the school where the problem was most prevalent was cordoned off and baited, and they have been constantly, including as of today, going to the school, checking the bait, and making sure that it has not been tampered with, as we found in some of the cases. In the areas of the school where there has not been the infestation or where they are able to eradicate, we have sanitized those areas and they are available for student attendance. What we have done over today and tomorrow, we are going to bathe the entire school. That is going on as we speak, member. And so we are going to bathe and sanitize so that from next week the students can return, because we realize that the partial baiting, which is what was being done, maybe was not as effective as we hoped it would be. But the school has not been shut down. We are in active collaboration with the corporation dealing with the issue of rodents as arises in many schools from time to time.
Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed. Great program as usual.
Thank you, my friend.
So, I want to ask Ola, Christopher, and Benjamin, if they are right in the head, I feel these people need some psychiatric evaluation, serious psychiatric evaluation, you know. I want to ask Benjamin, Ola, and Heinz, if recalling uniform going to solve crime or getting rid of the criminal elements in the police service. Benjamin, you and Ola, tell the citizen that uniform those not committing the crime. The people who wearing the uniform in the service, the criminals
Correct.
wearing that uniform is the people who are committing crime against the citizens in this country. You know, I don't want to call these people idiots, you know, because murders in this country, their way of crime fighting in 21st century have roadblock all over the place. Issue the citizens, the poor citizens who are struggling up in life, issue them tax collection tickets every day, and then both you issue 300 tax collection tickets for a week. This is crime fighting in this country, right? Okay? So they're going to carry the uniform. The officers now going to carry in the uniform. I want to know if they're going to have accountability. So if PC Blob was issued 3 pairs of trousers, 3 pairs of shirts, 2 cap, vests and whatnot, when he bring it in, if you bring in 1 pair of the pants, and 1 of the badge and 1 cap, if you're going to question him, what about the other 2 pairs? This is what I want to know, the accountability. So if PC Block cannot account for the other 2 pairs of trousers and the 2 pairs of shirts and boots, then he must be held accountable and disciplined. Let the citizen hear that, then the citizen going to say, well, you're serious about doing something, although that will not help. The criminal element still in the police service. And with reference to the vehicles and so on, tell the citizen what about the unmarked vehicle, how are you going to operate, how are you going to approach this now? How are you going to apprehend this crime? crime. Using
Correct.
the unmarked vehicles. I could tell you, several constables have a WPC in South. She come to work, she take her unmarked vehicle, a brand new Toyota Corolla, and go in making grocery, go in and drop she grandmother and aunt and throwing all over the place. You know, I tell you, how are you going to deal with that? Tell the citizens taxpayer money paying for that.
True.
So Erla and Benjamin, you all need to do some serious brain evaluation because you all are brainless people right now in this country. Mr. Said, you keep up the great work, man. God bless you. Take care.
Thank you, my friend. We're going back to education. The education minister further explained that several schools repair projects have been launched as part of the government emergency refurbishment works. In response to a question from Kuva South MP Rudinath Ndar Singh about the allocation of $19 million, which has been classified for a special project, Gaspidoli stated that 83 projects has already been allocated and are ongoing. So Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something, eh? We are going, you know. We don't reach where we're going. No accountability, no proper schooling, no proper police force, no proper firefighter station, no proper roads, no proper health care, no proper postal. And these are some of the issues that we are facing in Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine, we were once the little Dubai of the Caribbean. And where we are today, we are like Haiti. People used to condemn Guyana. Guyana presently are better than most countries in the Caribbean. Most. Imagine that, eh? It's sad, you know. It's sad. Guyana came from nothing and they are something right now in the Caribbean. It's sad to know that we have leaders in our country who don't give a crap about how the country functions, about crime. Imagine the Minister of National Security telling us, the citizens, it is not his duty to make us feel safe. Imagine that. Is that a crime-fighting minister? No. That is a minister to pack him up and put him in a corner. Crime is out of control in Trinidad. TTPS have reached a stage that they don't have ideas anymore, and I could tell you that. I could tell you that. They're running out of ideas. They are at the bottom of the barrel. The head of TTPS can't even come up with a proper idea. And I will always say this, Trinidad and Tobago. I have been in security for the last 15 years. Intelligence. And the only way to fix crime in our communities, random raids. Random raids in the community. That is what we need in order to fix it. But who's going to do it? Who is going to do it? Staying on Gaspidoli now, she stated that the allocation for years was based on the bills the ministry had in hand when the fiscal year ended, and based on what is available, the annual allocation is less than what they have billed for. Listen to this.
The actual billing for all the security services for 1 year is estimated at 255 million. So what you see as the original, the actual spend is more than that. So what happens is when at the end of the year we'll pay all the bills we have, but there will be bills going into the other fiscal that apply to the last fiscal. So the actual amount that is expended for one fiscal is actually more than that original allocation that is budgeted there. So to answer your question directly, because I believe your question was premised on the fact that we had allocation that was not being used, but that is not so. Based on what is available, and as I would explain, the annual allocation is less than what we will be billed for, and therefore we will have to wire funds into this. What we'll be working on is ensuring that the correct strength of officers go to the schools when they are assigned, because that has been something that we have been working on to ensure that we get value for the money.
Trinidad and Tobago, is our school system spending more than what has been allocated? How come? How come? It's sad, yes, they can't even manage our affairs. Tabakit, MP asked why $265,000 has been allocated to the Student Support Service program in both 24 and 25, and how this money would be spent, given the recent discourse about Student Support Service officers and guidance counselor. Gasbidoli said the funds have been completely spent at the end of the fiscal year. She also stated that where possible, the officers use the service of other ministries and other divisions to obtain these service and training for free. Listen to this.
Up to the end of the fiscal, the $265,000 was completely expended. This is used for the programs of the division, inclusive education, special education intervention, national parenting program, annual career fair days, career development sessions, career manuals, specialized services such as diagnostic testing, speech and language assessment and therapy, required for, psychological testing, training for special education staff, training for guidance counselors, psychologists, school social workers, and training in restorative practices. Where possible, these officers use the services of other ministries and other divisions so that they can obtain these services and these trainings for free. And of course, they also very much shave some of the frills off of some of their training programs, so they may not have food and drink and refreshment to be able to run some of these programs so that we meet the needs of the students. Of course, they would love to have more than this, but they fully utilize their allocation within the schools to run the programs that they can. Okay. And they also benefit from the schools and the principals who assist them to carry out to the best of their ability with their allocations as well.
So Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this now. A budgetary allocation of $823,796,200 has been allocated for the office of the Prime Minister. Before this happens, Minister in the office of the Prime Minister, Stuart Young, said the OPM, the Office of the Prime Minister, played an instrumental role in the government's operation. Ayanna Webster Roy said, the Gender and Child Affairs Division work to ensure the safety and well-being of our national children. Simone de Noriega said the Communication Ministry, which falls under the OPM, provides centralized and accurate communication that engage and empower our citizens. Listen to this.
Gender Affairs Division is the main focal point for mainstreaming gender in Trinidad and Tobago. The Child Affairs Division is ensuring the safety and well-being of our nation's children. We have under the Child Affairs Division the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, and the National AIDS Coordinating Committee is responsible for coordination of the HIV/AIDS response nationally.
Very much. Mr. Chairman, the Communications Ministry within the Office of the Prime Minister provides centralized, timely and accurate communications that engages and empowers our citizens through the following main divisions. Firstly, through our Freedom of Information Division, we ensure that the public has access to information on all government services. Our government printry provides reliable printing, binding and related services for government agencies and the public. Our Information Division, along with our Government Communications Division, via the radio, television, photography units, as well as content created for social media, provide and produce credible, educational and entertaining multimedia products, both hard copy and digital, on government policies, procedures and achievements. And our National Archives records our Trinidad and Tobago heritage and is accessible to the public. Beyond that,
now viewers, Simon, he identified the Freedom of Information Division, the Government Printry, and the Information Division as three entities which were involved in the exercise. Webster Roy said When she entered government in 2015, she met a struggling child care protection system. A $5 million allocation to the state-owned TTT. That's TTT television viewers. Vin Noriega said, one of the things this allocation would be used for is training of personnel. He added that it would not be used for physical infrastructure. Listen to this now.
I ask all the time, right? Because it's always here. So, an estimate of 1.5 million, nothing revised, 500,000. Tell me how we're strengthening TTT or what's happening here.
So, remember, our institutional strengthening is really focused on one, training, upskilling, not focused on infrastructure works. This line item is going to be focused on paying off some of the bills that they would have had outstanding, focused on things like the rebranding of our news, training for there's an MOU that we've signed with OJT for persons who have come out of the whether it is Arthur Lockjack, come out of UTT, come out of UE, Ken Gordon, those things. And there would have been infrastructure work that would have been necessary for that in terms of equipment. Those are the things that will be focused on this year. If we do need additional funds, this is actually one of the line items in my DP that I've spoken to the Minister of Finance for, and he's given me the same assurance. I don't know if it's the same ferocity that the Minister for Gender and Child Affairs got hers.
And so that in fiscal 2024 then, because we have a revised estimate of nothing, so that whatever upskilling took place in-house. So could we just account for the...
Some of it, most of it was done in-house. In some cases, we would have had work that was done pro bono as well.
Okay.
Now, viewers, $5 million allocation to the state-owned TTT television. Imagine that, eh? We're supporting them now with taxpayers' money. Trinidad and Tobago, I just want to remind you before we close, Real Talk Financing is offering you 4% on our fixed deposit, viewers. Yes, we are the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is offering you 4% on our fixed deposit. Remember that. Also, you can be part of the Real Talk Credit Union members, viewers. All you have to do is to go on to our Real Talk Credit Union Facebook page. We have all the requirements pinned to the top of the page. All you have to do is get all the requirements that are necessary. Contact our office. Our number will be on screen, viewers. Contact our office. Set up an appointment. Come down to the central branch, which is on 14 County Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or our south office at 25 Cipero Street, San Fernando, and open an account. When you plant a seed, when you open an account, remember, you are setting yourself to save for a brighter future. Remember that, viewers, only at Real Talk where we give you the best deals. Fixed deposits. We also have shares. You can start saving on your shares for loans later on. So until we meet again, viewers, I am Saieed Ali. We are saying good night to you until another live broadcast. That's it.